What is truth? TV podcast. What is truth? Let's take it to the live stream. Tell me what is truth? TV podcast. What is truth? Let's take it to the live stream.
There we go. I think so. You guys hear me all right? What's up, y'all? Welcome to the delayed What is Truth podcast stream. Thought I had my setup set up, but that's what happens when you have to stream one part on this platform, second platform on the Odysee. So my apologies. It's a one-man show. But what's up, Mr. Roscoe Coltrane, Miss Fabulous Lemons, Marion G. What's going on, young lady? Mr. Uncle Bobby, DJ Mossy, Eve Jax. What? What's up, Miss Hev? Who else we got here? What's up, Nadine? Secret Squirrel. Everyone, welcome. Should be a good show. I do want to touch on Dave Chappelle, and that will be 100% rated G materials, so as to keep growing on this platform, newly discovered, and we will keep it that way. The uncensored, unabashed, unadulterated content will resume on Odysee. If you would like to call in, if you look at the video description right here, you will see the YouTube link, or the Skype link. Leave me a message, we'll get you there. What's up, Miss Kooks? What's up, Chris? What's up, Miss Laura? Welcome to the stream, everyone. We are gonna... This is a new thing, so if this is the first time tuning in, we had been streaming on Odysee. The party never ended. Party still went on, but there unfortunately is no reach, so we are going to try to expand that reach by being here on YouTube. General audiences only. But as soon as we stop that stream, we'll have a little 10-minute pause, 15-minute pause, get the wee breaks in, and then we're going to go hard in the paint. So if you're not used to adult language, this may be the version that suits you best. But if you're not afraid of adult words and big people language, then definitely proceed to the Odysee venue. We do get a little wild up in there. But I wanted to touch base today on Dave Chappelle taking on cancel culture. I don't know how many of you watched the special on Netflix called The Closer. And as I watched the comedy unfold, I watched it. It really resonated with me personally on so many levels. Why? Well, if you've been following me, you guys know that I've had, and if you listen to the Closer, you would have noticed many similarities between what Dave Chappelle's going and what I have gone through. No doubt in a much smaller context. There is a YouTuber out there that goes by the name of Androgyny, I believe is how you say the name of this YouTuber. And so many parallels drawn to Dave Chappelle. So let's go over Dave Chappelle and then we'll go over to that. And we will go into that second part much more deeper into the hairy, stinky abyss on Odysee. So we will definitely focus more on that on the second part of the show. But on this part, let's go over the Dave Chappelle thing. If you have never heard of Dave Chappelle's comedy, maybe you've been sleeping under a rock. Maybe you haven't heard of him. But in my opinion, my personal opinion, Dave Chappelle is the MFing GOAT. What is the GOAT? The GOAT is the greatest of all time. I am a huge comedy fan. I love comedy. I follow it. It's one of those things, ever since I was a kid, I had dreams of being a comedian myself. You know, as a kid, I'd walk around and then tell some jokes and wait for that punchline and just kill and destroy. And I'd be walking around in the living room with a little broom. That was my microphone. And I just pictured the audience just cracking up and crying and dying, you know. That is definitely, you know, when people ask, when you're a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? Definitely comedian was definitely one of those things that I did aspire to be growing up. I can appreciate the talent it takes to be a comedian. To be a comedian, not anyone can be a goddamn comedian. It takes a lot of natural skill, for sure, but it also takes a lot of hard work. You got to work on your routine. You got to work on your set. How are you going to deliver it? And how are you going to deal in the event that you bomb? What does bombing mean? It means when you start telling some jokes and all you hear in the background are crickets and crickets. How are you going to perform under that kind of duress, under that kind of pressure? So there's a lot that goes into being a comedian. Most comedians never make it. You know, they may perform on open mics here and there, but that's just the nature of the beast. Very few can actually make livings off of it, and decent livings at that. Dave Chappelle is a multi-millionaire comedian. Deservedly so. He is, in my opinion, the funniest man alive. Some may disagree with me. If you haven't seen his comedy is very raunchy, very crude. My type of humor, 100%. And his delivery is unsurpassed. And I've been following him since I was in high school. He's a few years older than me. So I've been following him, you know, when he was starting out. And to hear people trying to cancel him because they claim that he is a bigot going after the trans community is one of the most ridiculous things going around right now. And we're going to break it down tonight. And again, it all ties into my personal bouts with someone who labels themselves as some sort of anti-cyberbullying individual. There's many, many parallels to be drawn, so that's why we are going to discuss it. Dave Chappelle has gotten into some hot fire. This week due to his latest Netflix special called The Closer. If you are a member of my Facebook group, I had encouraged you guys to listen to it, watch it. It's a great piece. And so if you haven't watched it, you're going to be a little lost. I'm not going to try to ruin it for you in case you watched it. I don't want to give any spoiler alerts. But it's awesome. And Dave Chappelle, you know, comedy is definitely subjective. There may be comedians out there that you may find funny, but if someone else listens to them, or I may listen to them, I may not find them funny at all. There's people that find me funny, and there's other people that just can't stand the shit out of my voice. So it is definitely subjective. There's a flavor for everyone. And this is the most ridiculous part about it all is that a segment, a tiny fractional segment of the corporate world, you can say, is really, really upset over their feelings getting hurt by Mr. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's comedy goes after everyone, which makes, right now the trans community and corporate America is trying to cancel him. But as I'm going to show you, the problem is the vast majority of people, no matter if you're on the left, no matter if you're on the right, we find Mr. Chappelle's comedy funny. And I'm going to prove it to you. And it's just funny how this very tiny, small fragment of the population can make so much goddamn noise. It's ridiculous in every aspect. But Dave Chappelle, if you don't know nothing about him, he is a comedian, an African American. He's the gentleman you see on the left of your screen. And his comedy, he goes after every race, every creed, every color, every gender, everything. There is no one escapes his wrath. But because he happens to go after the trans community, oh, now he went too far. You better not go there, buddy. And it's pathetic. Dave Chappelle made a skit. He made his name by being a black, white supremacist. And people are offended with his comedy now. Dave Chappelle had a skit called The Racial Draft. I mean, holy smokes. In his latest special, he makes jokes about Asians. He makes jokes about white people. I don't hear any of those communities going after Dave Chappelle. But the trans community is trying to get him canceled. And when I say the trans community, I'm speaking in general terms, because there are other trans people that are saying, what the hell are you guys crying about? So it is not a monolith. And that seems to be the problems with many things. People like to box people into monolithic groups that you got to fit in this particular box. And that seems to be the issue these days. And so when I say the trans community, I'm not saying I'm not saying every single trans person feels this way. There are others that have spoken about, they side with Dave Chappelle. In fact, in David Chappelle's The Closer, he talks about his own friend, a comedian, a trans person. And I don't want to ruin it for you because it's a powerful story. Dave Chappelle, as he has gotten older, when he first started his comedy routines, it was very in your face, hilarious. I was listening to some of his stuff from about 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and it had me in stitches. The Dave Chappelle in recent years, he's still hilarious. The way he delivers his jokes is hilarious, but he tells stories, and he is a master storyteller. He knows when to throw in that joke, and it gets you there. And if you listen to The Closer, he starts warming the crowd up. And as he's going harder and harder with the jokes, he's straight up saying, oh shit, it's just going to get worse from here. And he does, in fact, make many, many trans jokes, and he has been called a transphobic over that. Again, he made jokes about Asians. He made jokes about black folk or white folks. I don't see anyone calling him racist. He has made jokes against Mexicans, and I'm Mexican American. I don't think he's racist at all. He is not a transphobic. There's a difference between comedy and being dead serious on subjects. and he is a professional comedian. And to try to cancel someone over comedy or dictate how they should tailor their comedy to suit their needs is just downright ridiculous at the end of the day. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. But this is the cancel culture that we are living in today. Let me read an article here. Let's see. So, I was reading an article here on, let me put it on the screen here for you guys to see. And, okay, there we go. This is on Vox.com. Chappelle's latest Netflix special, The Closer, may be a tipping point for trans. This is just reading this article. They try to be fair, but it's just ridiculous in every sense. They make it sound like the biggest issue that I've had this week in reading people comment on Dave Chappelle and his masterpiece, The Closer, is how they make it sound, the people writing bad and terrible things about Dave Chappelle, they make it sound like the majority of people have issues with Dave Chappelle, when that is far from the case. Far from the case. The majority of people loved it. For the past several years, comedian Dave Chappelle has been locked in a vicious cycle of anti-cancel culture stand-up comedy. Damn straight. Over 6 Netflix specials, Chappelle has lashed out at what he views as progressive attempts to cancel him for his incendiary comedy, all while mocking the queer and transgender communities and the Me Too movement, and generally tripling, sextupling down on the offensive jokes and reactionary politics that people took issue with in the first place. I see what you guys did there, sextupling. Get the hell out of here. See, they're trying to come down on Dave Chappelle for his comedy and then throw in that silly joke right there. They're saying that he came after the Me Too movement. He sure did. For those that don't know, Dave Chappelle left showbiz entirely right before signing a $50 million contract. In his special, he did criticize the Me Too movement because he said the Me Too movement meant well, but their delivery, the way they got the message out, just petered out. They sold out. It didn't go nowhere. And that is the damn truth. And what he suggested, that the actresses at Hollywood that were calling out all this evilness going on in Hollywood, what they should have done, instead of wearing black robes at the Golden Globes or the Emmys and black hats, instead of doing that, why not instead walk out of the Hollywood? Just walk out. That would have hurt Hollywood. And some people were uncomfortable with that story. And Dave Chappelle reminded him, I can say that because I walked away from $50 million. He walked away from $50 million from Comedy Central because he didn't like the culture that was gathering around him. He didn't like the BS in Hollywood. He saw a lot of things and he was uncomfortable. And he also felt he was being censored and he was getting told on what kind of jokes he should make and write. And rather than sell out, he walked away from $50 million. So you can think what you want about Chappelle, but that is a man right there. And for me, for my personal opinion, that gives me respect for him. I mean, how many people would walk away at right there staring at $50 million right in front of you? Not too many people. And Dave Chappelle can say he's one of those type of people. So that fact that this article starts out saying that he criticized the Me Too movement. Yeah, he did. And he also explained why he was criticizing it. Funny how they left that little part out. It's a fatiguing Ouroboros. I don't even know what the hell that means. I'm not going to look it up, whatever. Chappelle's latest special, The Closer, is possibly his last for the streaming service, and with it, the discourse around his comedy has intensified. In the special released October 5th, Chappelle's humor is more openly transphobic than ever. No shiznit. It is comedy. I already mentioned he makes racist jokes. He makes transphobic jokes. He makes all these jokes. It is comedy. What do you clowns do not understand? Comedy isn't... I mean, sure. I'm sure there's religious comedians. Oh, and then Jesus walked up the ark. You know, and I don't laugh at that kind of nonsense. That's not my type of comedy. But I'm sure you can label it as comedy. Comedy can be rated G, as silly stuff like that. Kids comedy, sure. But it can be dark as well. And Dave Chappelle's comedy falls into that pretty dark comedy, but it's hilarious in my personal opinion. So for someone to be writing these reviews, if that's not your genre of comedy, your review is invalid. If you can appreciate a good dark humor type of joke, then that's when you should be able to criticize Dave Chappelle's comedy, because that is your genre. But if you're into like Barney jokes or freaking Elmo, Sesame Street jokes, and then you're trying to write a review on Dave Chappelle's comedy, your comedy is now irrelevant. It is comparing apples to oranges. So if that's not the kind of humor you like, you can review it, you can give your opinion all you want, but it means nothing to me. All right. Sorry, I'm getting passionate because this is ridiculous on so many levels. Many trans viewers... show me the poll for this. Many trans viewers feel Chappelle's comedy has escalated into overt hate, and they've been voicing their complaints directly to Netflix. See, the way this is written, it is written as if thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people are displeased with this Dave Chappelle special. The way it's written, and this is, I'm showing you one article, but I've read many throughout the week, and it's just, this is the same slant that you are getting from these clowns. Let's see. Moreover, recently, Netflix suspended a trans employee who tweeted about the special's transphobia. Netflix has said the employee was suspended not for her viral tweets, but for attending a director-level business meeting without an invitation. The company has since lifted the suspension. Here's an update. The company has since fired that employee. So the way I've seen these trans movement type of articles write about it, they make it sound like this person was fired because of they're calling out Netflix, during a transphobic type of tweets. That is not true. Right there, they even say it, but they make it sound like, oh, it was just hearsay. Netflix has said the employee was suspended not for her viral tweets, but for attending a director-level business meeting without an invitation. What is so hard for these journalists, quote-unquote, to understand about that? This person was fired for that. It doesn't matter what you are, what your stance is. If you aren't invited to one of these type of business high director level meetings and you're just a regular employee, of course you're going to get fired. But of course, that's not what these other articles with their cancel culture agenda are going to focus on. Despite the uproar, Netflix company CEO Ted Sarandos defended Chappelle and his comedy. We don't allow titles on Netflix that are designated to incite hate or violence, and we don't believe the closer crosses that line, he wrote in an internal email on October the 8th. So, let's see. All right, let's just go on. Let's get this over with. But with Chappelle platforming a position of gender essentialism out on stage and declaring that he's Team TERF, what's wrong with that? Thereby aligning himself with trans exclusionary radical feminists who argue that trans women aren't women. What is wrong with identifying as TERF? If you can identify the way you want to, why can't Dave Chappelle identify as Team TERF? That sounds bigoted to me. Netflix's approach to the whole situation has triggered employee resignations, backlash, and now a plan to walk out of the company's trans employee resource group. Enough of that garbage. This is what I mean. They have it so that it looks like there are so many people, thousands upon thousands of people that are just upset and want to cancel him. And it's only a small people. I'm going to show you some evidence for my claim, because you're not going to see that on any of these mainstream articles and whatnot. Let me show you this. So, all right, let's go to this image right here. Well. God damn it. Where you at, buddy? Where you at, buddy? Sorry, I was How'd you go? Gee whiz, come on now. You were there and then you left me. That's why. Okay, I see what happened there. So I'm gonna have to open a new window. This is how it is. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is Rotten Tomatoes, where you have critics reviewing movies and they give an analysis to it. Blah, blah, blah. And they also put the user ratings, as we can clearly see right there. What do we see there? The critics. And the funny thing is, originally, the critics gave the Dave Chappelle closer score a 33%. They have since bumped it up to a whopping 43%. You look at and that's 7 reviews at 43%. Cancel culture, corporate media pundits. To the right, you have thousands of reviews by audience members at nearly 100%. So that article that we just read off, making it sound like so many people are mad and so many people are butthurt, no pun intended, over Dave Chappelle's comedy. It's simply a lie. It's a farce. The overwhelming majority of people like you and I love this. Saw it for the masterpiece that it was. But it's just cancel culture. It's just a tiny, tiny, small fraction of the population just trying to force shit down our throats. And that is the biggest problem that's going on right now. Let's see. I had something else for you. The other thing. Okay. So through this, Dave Dave Chappelle has been accused of punching down on the trans community. If you haven't heard what punching down is, let me show you the definition here. God damn it, man. Really? God damn it, man. Why are you doing this to me? You are hurting me. God damn it. Alright, there we go. Let me try this. Sorry guys, trying to do this shit live. Okay, punching down. The definition for punching down is for someone of higher rank, power, status, and position to engage someone of much lesser and inferior rank, status, power, and position in debate and or argument. Not limited to just status, power, position, and rank, but can often and do include intellect, capability, competence, and acumen. I think that's how you say it. Anyways, punching down. Dave Chappelle has been accused of punching down on the trans community. And Dave Chappelle masterfully, in The Closer, argues, no. I'm not punching down. If anything, I'm punching up. Because if the trans community has the power to get you taken off and cancel you, and I think this is why he went hard in the paint in his last special for Netflix. He did want to push the envelope to prove his point. That how such a tiny voice have so much damn power that if you hurt their feelings, they're going to remove you. And so, by that definition, that is not punching down. That is punching up. And, you know, the trans community, and again, I am generalizing. I'm not saying everyone that's trans feels this way. There are people, it's not a monolith, but I'm talking about the trans community in this case that is actively trying to cancel him off of Netflix. But what you hear from them is, especially when it comes to sports, we want to be included. It doesn't matter if I was a cisgendered. So I was born a man, but now I identify as a woman. I want to fight women. They want to be included there. But then Dave Chappelle comes around and wants to include you in his jokes, in his comedy sketches. Oh, no, but we won't take it. We can't take that. Enter Exhibit B. Exhibit B is a YouTuber, a self-proclaimed anti-cyberbullying campaigner. They go by the name of Androgyny, I believe. That's how the spelling goes. This person has been caught out lying many times, verifiably, using racialized Facebook posts, tweets, you name it, YouTube videos. Very many things that can be considered by just about anyone that has seen these things as evil. Very insensitive, racialized, all this nonsense. I'll put a video, I think I have the link to the video, where I have shown screenshots after screenshots after screenshots proving my point. And it's just not me that this person has come after. This person has come after my friend Brian Harvey. Brian Harvey put a video out addressing another lie by this YouTuber Androgyny, in which the YouTuber Androgyny made a Facebook post saying that because Brian Harvey appeared on my show, that is why Brian Harvey was arrested. Brian Harvey put out a video demonstrably, verifiably proving by even playing the arrest tape when he's being questioned by police officers. And in that interview, not once is my show ever mentioned. In that interview, you can hear Brian saying that it's self-defense. You can see and hear him. You can hear the law enforcement individuals in that room with him trying to entrap him. Brian Harvey being the smart man under fire, under duress, saying no comment, no comment, no comment. You guys are trying to entrap me. No comment. But the point of it is that was another lie. This YouTuber has claimed channels being removed that are still up to this day, many months later after this erroneous and flat out lie. This person claimed I had an account on BitChute, and that BitChute agreed to terminate me from BitChute. I have never had an account on BitChute. The point is, this person has been demonstrably, verifiably proven as an outright liar, as a bad human being, an individual that knows no bounds. If you don't know this individual and you're listening to these to me on Spotify or any of these other things, I had done some coverage on another YouTuber, Sean Atwood. Sean Atwood is tied very close to this YouTuber, Androgyny. They have a very close relationship. Sean claims he's against censorship, but he is teamed up with an individual such as this, which is a racist, a proven, verifiable racist. This isn't slander. This is slander. And you can see those on the video link that I have in the description on my Odysee channel. Link is there in the description if you are interested. Listen to the video. It's about 2.5 hours showing screenshot after screenshot. This individual has made slanderous allegations that I beat and abuse my wife and children. Not once, not twice, but several times. That is defamation and slander. This person also said that I had recorded 2 podcast episodes. They are still on my channel. I did update the description. And in those 2 podcast episodes, anyone can go and listen to them. They are done with the utmost respect to this individual because we were indeed friendly at one point. That all changed because I happened to do a podcast with someone this person claimed they did not approve of. And because of that decision that I made, this person started attacking me at first. And at first the attacks were benign enough for me to ignore. Once this person went down the racial route to try to get a rise out of me, that's really when this person woke up a sleeping giant, if you will. I wasn't gonna allow this person to go that low and unchallenged. There was no way I was gonna let that go. And so that's when I started clapping back. Once I started clapping back, then this person started claiming the victim. Dave Chappelle, in his comedy skit, makes a joke where he says the trans community. So he's talking about a story where he almost gets in a fight, a physical fight, with a trans person. They get into an argument. The trans person is bigger than him, but Dave's like, I don't care. I'm not going to get pushed around by this person. He goes, let's fight. Let's fight. They're ready to fight. The trans person then calls the police on him. Dave Chappelle's punchline to that joke is, trans people are minorities until they are white. For those that didn't understand that joke, basically saying that they'll play both sides. And so they'll attack people, and this is speaking generally, they'll attack people until they need to start playing the victim again, you know? Pretty disturbing, but this is not surprising. It is what it is. But let's see, for those that don't know, now you know. All right, so this is the YouTuber Androgyny. Let's take a look at some of the content on this channel. Brian Harvey abusing a CSA survivor. Sean Atwood and Darren G. My response. This person did Decca Heggie wrong, Patty Conroy. If you go down the list of videos, all right, enough of that. My eye sockets are ready to fall off. My orbitals. This person, if you look at their videos on their channel, just goes around attacking other channels, other people. And I have no problem with that. The problem lies when someone decides to call this person out on their outright lies, slander, defamation, intimidation. This person then wants to get them censored off of YouTube, canceled, essentially. So this person can bully all they want. But once someone claps back, they are now the victim. This is what Dave Chappelle was essentially saying with that joke that he said. The trans community are minorities until they are white. And it's funny, it's a funny joke, but the meaning behind it, this is what I personally have been feeling. This person can say whatever the hell they want, but because I call them out, I am now the cyberbully. It's pathetic. And this is where we are in 2021, where certain people can get away with practically breaking the law. Had I been a UK citizen and this YouTuber had been calling me, telling me my parents should be in little markets selling trinkets, talking about my skin color, talking about the way I speak, But had I been a UK citizen, maybe there would be a little bit of a different response. But apparently, if you are an American living in the sunny confines of Florida, UK residents can racially say whatever the hell they want against you, and there's no issue. I didn't know that was a loophole, but apparently that is the loophole. I want to give a shout out to The Honest Truth YouTube channel with Uncle Bobby and Chris. They recently were also victims of intimidation by this individual, blackmailing them the same way this YouTuber blackmailed me. Again, go to my YouTube link on Odysee. I'm going to keep reminding people that video is damning. It has every single screenshot. Well, I'm sorry. Most of the most damning screenshots on this YouTuber for you to see with your own eyes, and you don't have to take my word for it. See it to believe it, if you will. But this YouTuber blackmailed me that if I did not remove my podcast with this individual, podcast that completely destroyed this narrative that this person had been painting me as some kind of a bigot, some kind of person that only decided to attack this person based on their way in which they identify, which was completely false to begin with. But that is the narrative that this person tried to play and spin. They threatened me and they blackmailed me by saying that if I didn't remove those podcasts, they were going to try and contact who they thought was my employer or something ridiculous, something outlandish. But that was their attempt in blackmail, intimidation, and harassment. I received about 10 emails from this individual after I had told them to stop. They were still emailing me. Harassment, intimidation, slander, defecation of salamander, whatever. This person has been caught out and proved that this person is not a friendly individual. All right. Let's see, where are we on, y'all? Well, I think we're going to take the show over to Odysee. I wanted to do 30 minutes, but I am itching to let you guys know how I really feel. I have to keep it rated G here. I know it feels good to be a gangster sometimes, but trying to be a YouTube gangster is a whole nother ball game. If you guys can put the link to the Odysee channel, and let's get people in the live chat going over there. It is 54 after the hour. Let's meet up there at about 5 minutes past the hour. Live chat is already up and running, so you guys can chat in there. But I will go on live at about 5 minutes after the hour. Hope to see you guys there. Links to my social medias, all that good stuff is there. The party's just starting. I'm just getting warmed up, as you can tell. If you guys want to talk about it, all my calls are from Florida. I do not accept calls from the UK because of the ridiculous laws down there. So all my callers, they're basically all my neighbors. I go outside, we pick oranges, we feed the alligators, and we all hang out. So all my callers are my neighbors from Florida. If you want to be a caller, you can be a Florida caller as well. Skype link is in the description. Hit it up, and we'll get you on the show. Thank you guys for coming out. You guys are heroic. You guys are awesome. You guys are totally cool dudes, dudettes, gender neutral, if you will. All right, y'all. Much love.
What is truth?